is about Origin graphing software and how to set the y-axis to a log10 scale, and then how to set that to either the E notation or 10 to the power of notation, as you might be required to with different scientific papers. And this is very useful for rheological data, which varies over large scales, and commonly you have to report it with a log10 base scale for research papers. So if we go over to Origin here, this is what we're working towards. We're working towards the y-axis being on log10 scale with nice 10 to the power of scale descriptors here. So if we go to our data here, we've got some viscosity data. We've got two lots of data, x, y, and xy. Make sure when you set up your table that this is second x is an x and not a y. If it's a y like this, you'll have issues. And basically, you can see here that we've got a fair bit of data, and we've put in spark lines here that we did by selecting like that and just clicking the spark line there, and you can see that the x is a independent variable and the y is a dependent variable. So basically we create our plot by going into the normal basic 2D plots with a line, and this looks interesting but not great because basically it tells you no information about the one-to-one sample down here. So the first thing we'll do is we'll change the y scale into log10, which is pretty simple. You double click on the scale bar, you go into scale, and then you just change linear to log10. That's pretty simple. Normally the log10 scale, as you can see there, is a bit spread out and we want to zoom in a bit more. So we can do that by changing our view to be more focused on our samples. So how do we then go from 100 here to 10 to the power of 2? If you double click on this, so we were in here in scale before, click on tick labels. If you change this decimal to either scientific, or if you want the E notation, then you can do scientific E3, and if you want the normal 10 to the power of notation, then scientific works perfectly. And normally to finish off this graph we would put a frame around it, which is just view show frame, and we would drag the legend box into the frame, and we'd get rid of the frame around the legend box, and that is our graph. So then we would either export it as a graphic, as a PNG or a TIFF file to wherever you want in normally the highest DPI that's available, noting that obviously it'll take longer to export it, or we would just copy it into as an image, either with a transparent background or not with a transparent background, and always with the highest DPI. One thing to note with this is that if you copy this with a transparent background, you would likely have issues with this black line not showing up. It's just a weird glitch that sometimes happens. And that's basically it.